Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Welcome to another card making day here in Simcoe, Ontario. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here, and if you live in Canada and don't have your own demonstrator, you can shop with me. You can reach me at stampsandtea@gmail.com or stampsandtea.stampinup.net is my demonstrator website. So today we're going to use an online only suite of products. I don't think I've shown you this one before. This is new. It's available to purchase on March the 5th. And this suite is called a Little Latte suite. So it's coffee themed, which we haven't had in quite a while. It's a really nice suite. So let me show you what's in the suite and then we'll make the card. Now this suite is only available to purchase online, which doesn't mean you have to go online to purchase it yourself. It just means your demonstrator can purchase it for you if you don't want to go online and do this yourself. The suite itself is $106, and in the suite you get the stamps and dies, coffee cups, mugs, spoons, a couple of sentiments. You get the dies to cut some things out of, and of course extra dies, the coffee percolators and coffee pots and things, so you get the extra dies. You get some beautiful adhesive enamel dots that match the colours in the paper, and you get this ribbon, which is not really a ribbon, it's more like Hessian. Beautiful neutral colour with white polka dots on. It's quite heavy, and I don't know that I'm going to use that on my card today. We'll see when I get it put together. You also get the beautiful designer series paper, two-sided of course, lots of different patterns, coffee cups, barista style coffee, some stripes, some more coffee cups and mugs, more coffee cups and mugs, little coffee cups, some coffee beans, some coffee splatters, beautiful pale pink that we are going to use, this lovely sort of swirly dark brown and what's the other colour? Dark brown and early espresso and pecan pie. So lots of lovely papers in there to use, and of course dies to cut out some of the parts as well. We are going to use today this sheet of paper. Of course it was 12 by 12, and I have cut it down to 12 by 5 3/8 inches. Okay, that's going to go on our card. The back is just sort of coffee mug stains on the table there, but nice enough that you can write on. We could stamp on it, we could do anything we need. The base of the card itself, this is kind of a fun fold card. The base of the card itself is 12 inches by 5.5. That's a standard 5.5 inch card. 5.5 by 4.25 will give you when you're finished. Okay, now I will caution you here. When I made my sample, I could not get my measurements to work out right. My father-in-law always said, measure twice, cut once. Well, I measured and I measured, but what I didn't measure was I didn't measure the length of the card. I took this piece of early espresso card out of my pack of 12 by 12 cardstock, and it's 12 inches. That's what it's supposed to be. My sample was fresh fig. That was just a piece of cardstock I had, and when I remeasured the whole card again, it was only 11 3/4 by 11 3/4. So it pays to measure the first piece of card to make sure it is actually 12 inches, because it threw all my measurements off. We've also got a scrap of early espresso to maybe back the sentiment, and a piece of basic white to stamp some coffee cups on and some sentiment. So we're going to start right from the beginning here today. So that means this might be a slightly longer video. We're also going to use some dies called Deckled Circles dies. There's, I think, about 12, 13, 14 in the pack, all different sized circles. We are going to count from the outside edge, and we're going to use the 8th die on our project today. So let's get started. We're going to take the cardstock first and score the cardstock. Okay, so I need to open up my paper trimmer and get some room going here. So we're going to stamp the cardstock. We're going to score the cardstock. We're going to start at the left and we're going to score at 4 1/8. Now I know a card is 4 1/4 in this country, in North America, 4 1/4, but this piece is going to fold over, and I want it to be able to fold flat, so I'm taking 1/8 of an inch off. So it's 4 1/8, 5 1/2 this way, and we're going to score from the left hand side at 4 1/8, right there. 4 1/8, make it nice and straight, give it a good score, and then we're going to score at 8 3/8, right there, 8 3/8, and then we're going to score at 10, push, whoops, moved it back, 10, and then 10 3/4. There, 10 3/4. So that was scored at 4 1/8, 8 3/8, 10 inches and 10 3/4. Now we're going to fold, we're going to turn it over so that the the scored edge is to the bottom of the card, and we're going to fold towards us like this, and then the next fold towards us again, and then the next fold, you see I'm on the bottom, 1 2, we're going to fold towards us again. So we've got fold, fold and fold. I just have to be able to see where the fold line is, and then the last fold is going to fold the other way like that. Now I'm going to burnish all of these folds because I want them to be nice and sharp. So we've got fold that way, oops, let's lay that down flat, fold it over again, fold it over again, and then the last one folds the opposite way there. So that's going to be the basis of the card for now. We're going to take the DSP. The DSP is 12 inches by 5 3/8. Now this piece of DSP doesn't have a direction on it on either side, but if you had stripes or a directional pattern, just take a minute to think about which way you want to cut that paper before you actually cut it. So I am going to cut this. It's 5 3/8 inch wide, okay, by 12. So I'm going to start cutting, and I'm going to cut off a piece that is 5 3/8 by 4. So I've got 5 3/8 by 4. Get my scoring blade out of the way. And then I'm going to cut 5 3/8 again by 4 1/8. And then I'm going to cut 1 1/2, 5 3/8 by 1 1/2. Making sure they're nice and straight. And then I've got 5 3/8 by 1 1/8. And then I'm going to take this last piece and I'm going to cut it at 5 3/8 by 5/8. So I'm going to put it in my cutter, carefully close this and cut that off. So this is 5 3/8 by 5/8. I'm tucking it in there, and that is what we have left out of the 12" by 5 3/8 piece of paper. Okay, so we've done that. Cut the papers. We're going to set them just there. We're going to take out our foam core mat because these stamps are photopolymer, and we're going to do some stamping right now. We're going to stamp out, let me think, what am I going to stamp? We're going to stamp a sentiment, so we need the piece of basic white. And this is just a scrap of basic white that I have. So we've got this, and I'm going to use the mug stamp, all right, to stamp in the middle of the card. And I've got a sentiment out of the same stamp set that says, "Hello there, let's catch up." We're going to stamp in early espresso. Got something to clean my stamps. Stamp this first. It doesn't matter which you stamp first. Hello there, let's catch up. We're going to cut that out, just roughly cut it out when we're ready. And I'm going to stamp the mug twice because I haven't made up my mind what I'm going to do with the mug yet. So I'm coming down here, stamp a mug and another mug. There. So, oops, that's the stamping done. So now we're going to just set that over here for a minute. We're going to put the DSP on the card front. Okay, now I want you to set it so that this piece at the top can sit up, okay, because your card is going to sit like this when it's finished. All right, it's going to be a tinted easel card, okay, and it's going to look, let me see, where's my camera? Get this, if I can get this. It's going to look like this. So this is the front of the card, the back, the bottom, and then you have this little tinted easel in here as well. So I want this to be here like this, facing me. The largest portion of the card at the top is facing me. And I'm going to take this DSP and I'm going to lie it down and check that it's correct first. Okay, I should only have a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. I want my darkest pattern piece on here, because the next piece I'm going to flip over and put it on the inside of the card. It's light, it's almost white. You can write on that if you need to. So let me get some, my little mat here, my little silicone mat, and my DSP. So I want this one to be right sides up. Okay, so I'm going to put the adhesive on the back. And I want glue right to the edges, but not so heavy that it's going to spurt out. Oops. Now there's no right side up or right side down on this piece of card. Okay, so I can just place it right on my card front. Slide it in a little bit if I need to, into position, and press it down. So that's your card front. I'm going to flip the card right over. The second piece of DSP, which was 5 3/8, let me just stand it up, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, you flipped over so you've got the white side, and it's going to go here like this. Again, just a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. So we want the light side of the paper showing here. That's going down here like this. Again, 1/16 of an inch. There, like that. Okay, so now I'm going to hold my card up and have a look at it. So now I've got what I'm calling the inside base, which is 5 3/8 by 1.5 inches. Now, which way do I want to put it? Do I want to put it this way? Do I want to put it this way? Doesn't matter. It's your choice. All right. How did I do it on there? I matched the front, so I'm going to put that this way, I think. All right. Again, 1/16 of an inch all the way around. Lots of nice Tombow adhesive on there. Get a little push into place. I've got the next piece, which is 5 3/8 by 5/8 of an inch. Which way do I want to put that? Do I want to put it this way? Do I want to put it that way? Well, let's see which way we're going to put the last piece on. I think the last piece is going to go this way. So let me put the bottom piece on first. And then we'll think about the piece. The 5/8 inch piece, you don't really see anyway, but it's just nice to place your pieces of cardstock and see which way you want them. I did make a slight mistake there because I want to wrap this piece in ribbon. I want to wrap some ribbon around it. Now I've got the polka dot ribbon, which will work very nicely. Or I have some, what colour is this? Lost Lagoon ribbon. You know what? I think we're going with the polka dot. Okay, so let me just set that down there for a minute. I'm just going to cut a piece of ribbon that is slightly larger than this piece, slightly longer than this piece of cardstock, DSP, and I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal Plus. Now normally I would just turn this piece over, run the adhesive down this side, but because I've got adhesive all over it, let me see, is it going to matter? I'll put that down that way, this will clean up, so I'm okay. So I'm going to run my adhesive right down the middle, trying to keep it straight. There. And I'm going to lay this piece of ribbon on top. Luckily for me, the adhesive is the same width as the ribbon. Alright. So now I can peel that off. I can just put a strip of adhesive there and a strip here and fold the ribbon over the back. Now I was a little bit hesitant about this ribbon because it's quite a stiff ribbon and it's a bit thicker than ribbon. Okay, so now we'll put adhesive on the back of this, and now we'll put it on the front of the card. Again, just about a 1/16 of an inch around. I'm sliding that down into place. And I'm just going to press that down and really hold it for a minute, just because I don't want the ribbon to pop the DSP off the page. So I'm holding it at the corners, giving it a really good press. I'm going to turn it over and really press it from the back to make sure it's got a good grip. There we go. And then we have this piece. We can use either side. I think we'll just use this side. So we'll put some adhesive on there. Nobody sees this piece. It's just to tidy up the card. You could actually skip this piece if you don't want to use it. Okay. There. 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 Okay, so now we've got to do some cutting out from over at the Big Shot, the large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I have to use the large one because my card is 5.5 inches across. So I said at the beginning we were going to use the 8th die, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's this one, and I always count my dies from the outside. This die is going to go right in the center of the card here, like this, and we're going to cut it out. So I've got a ruler. I have a ruler here. Doesn't have to be exact, it just has to be close. It should be about an 1/8, 1 inch and an 1/8 from either side. So I'm just going to put a little tweak there, tape it down. I've got some washi tape there, hopefully that will hold it. There. So I'm going to take that over to the cut and emboss machine. I'm also going to cut this cup out, and I'm going to use, where are my dies? The mug die. That's this one. And it cuts the mug out nicely. Fits it really well and cuts it out nicely. What you could do, if you have a spare piece of this paper, the paper we used on the front, you could take this die here and it will cut out these cups nicely for you. These are different cups of coffee. If you would rather do that than cut these out and colour them, it's entirely up to you. I'm going to cut and colour just for today. But that is an option. That is a die that will cut out from your DSP for you. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the Big Shot and I will be as quick as I can and be right back. So let's see what we have here. I've cut out one mug, and here's another mug. Peel off the tape carefully. There. So we've got 2 mugs. Just set that back on there like that. Now, and then this die came out of the deckled circles. Pop it out in the circle. There we go. And we've got a nice circle cut out of the front of the card. Just put this one back on there. Okay, let's see what we've got. Oops, piece of tape. There we go. Alright, so we've got a nice see-through card, and if you can see here, this is why you can see a little bit of white. This is why I cut one piece. The first score was at 4 1/8 inch. The next was at 8 3/8. But it's so that when you fold this and you fold the card closed, it does lie nice and flat, and it gives you a 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, so it goes in a standard envelope. So let's have a look. There and there. Good. So we have a sentiment for the front here, which I was just going to cut out roughly using my scissors. Let's see. About even. There. That's just cutting that out roughly with the scissors, just to give us something to work with. Right. Let's put the card together. Now we've got let me see, is that glue? Oh, it's dry. We've got 2 mugs here that I'm gonna colour. I've got some alcohol markers here. I have ivory, I have light pecan pie, and I have dark suede. Now the ivory, let me stop for just a minute. This cup here, I didn't have the die straight, so I'm going to trim just a little bit around the edge. And I'm just going to follow the stamped line, and I've just trimmed that little piece off just so that it's not quite so, you don't have quite so much white showing. Okay, so we're going to colour the coffee cups. We've got ivory here. Now I need a piece of cardstock to test this on. This is ivory and it's very light. Let me see what I've got. Let's have a look at light pecan pie. That looks more like a coffee colour to me. So we're going to colour the coffee. It's a strong coffee, this one. And you don't need any shading because you've got the marks from your stamp. When you stamped it, you have lines on the coffee mugs and, you know, a little bit of shading around the top there. You can colour the mugs any colour you like. I picked out pecan pie, no, dark suede. Let me see if I'm going to use dark suede. That gives me a very dark brown mug, but I think it will work. Let's see. It's very dark, but it's okay. There. Smidgen there where I missed it. There. That's all we're going to do. We're going to leave it at that. So you've got 2 nice cups of coffee. We've got a card here that we're going to decorate. We've got a sentiment. The sentiment just says, hello there, let's catch up. The question is, do we want to back this onto a piece of early espresso? And I think the answer is a definite yes. So let me just run a little bit of tape down there. Tuck it in, make sure none's sticking out. I'm going to line this up right in the corner here. So I only have to cut 2 sides. There. And I'm going to cut it really close to, really close to the sign. There. See, that could be trimmed a little bit because I didn't get close enough. There. So it just gives it a little bit of a backing and helps it stand out a little bit. All right. So we've lost it. Oops, there's the coffee cup there. I'm going to put this one up on dimensionals. sort of a little higher than center, but centered from side to side. And then we're going to put the hello there, just over here like this. I think we're just going to put that down flat so that it will catch on either side here. Just make sure I haven't got any adhesive. There. And there's no adhesive sticking out on the back here. There. So then we've got to fold this. Let me see, that's going to stand like that. We're folding this piece over, giving it another really good press because we want that to stand up. And we've got this piece which is going to go here. Now I'm going to put this on a dimensional because of the depth of the ribbon, but I'm going to put the dimensionals sort of up here like this. So let's see if we can do that and get an idea of where my cup's going to sit. It's going to have to move over like this. There. Okay, so about, oh dear, I think about there and there. We'll trim those if we have to, or move them if we have to. Right, so where, oops, I need to move that in a bit so it's not hanging off the end of the card. Let me see. No dimensionals showing. So there's today's card. The sentiment and the coffee cup on the bottom hold the tent in place. If you look at it from the side, they hold the tent in place. When you fold the card down flat, it folds flat and it goes into a regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 envelope. So that's it. That's today's card. Please see where you saw the card made and give credit where credit's due. And if you sell your cards, please put the Stampin' Up Angel stamp on the back, which just says all the supplies used are Stampin' Up supplies. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great week. See you next week. Bye.